Alrighty, I'm gonna get right into it today. Jeff Bezos released this just about a month ago. I know Jeff Bezos is a controversial character. His company has controversial ethics and all of that, but he said something really important in his final letter as CEO to his shareholders, and it just caught my attention, and I want to make a video about it. So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna talk about it. It's a bit lengthy, so hang in there with me. But I promise it'll be worth it. It's extremely helpful and relevant to every individual on this planet. So I'm going to read it and then break it down a little bit and just talk about why it's important. This is my last annual shareholder letter as the CEO of Amazon, and I have one last thing of utmost importance I feel compelled to teach. I hope all Amazonians take it to heart. Here is a passage from Richard Dawkins' extraordinary book, The Blind Watchmaker. It's about a basic fact of biology. Staving off death is a thing that you have to work at. Left to itself, and that is what it is when it dies, the body tends to revert to a state of equilibrium with its environment. If you measure some quantities such as the temperature, the acidity, the water content, or the electrical potential in a living body, you will typically find that it is markedly different from the corresponding measure in the surroundings. Our bodies, for instance, are usually hotter than our surroundings, and in cold climates, they have to work hard to maintain the differential. When we die, the work stops. The temperature differential starts to disappear, and we end up the same temperature as our surroundings. Not all animals work so hard to avoid coming into equilibrium with their surrounding temperature, but all animals do some comparable work. For instance, in a dry country, animals and plants work to maintain the fluid content of their cells, work against the natural tendency for water to flow from them into the dry outside world. If they fail, they die. More generally, if living things didn't work actively to prevent it, they would eventually merge into their surroundings and cease to exist as autonomous beings. This is what happens when they die. While the passage is not intended as a metaphor, it is nevertheless a fantastic one and very relevant to Amazon. I would argue that it's relevant to all companies and all institutions and to each of our own individual lives too. In what ways does the world pull at you in an attempt to make you normal? How much work does it take to maintain your distinctiveness, to keep alive the thing or things that make you special? I know a happily married couple who have a running joke in their relationship. Not infrequently, the husband looks at the wife with fox distress and says to her, "Can't you just be normal?" They both smile and laugh, and of course the deep truth is that her distinctiveness is something he loves about her. But at the same time, it's also true that the things would often be easier, take less energy, if we were a little more normal. This phenomenon appears at all scale levels. Democracies are not normal. Tyranny is the historical norm. If we stopped doing all of the continuous hard work that is needed to maintain our distinctiveness in that regard, we would quickly come into equilibrium with tyranny. We all know that distinctiveness, originality, is valuable. We are all taught to be yourself. What I'm really asking you to do is embrace and be realistic about how much energy it takes to maintain that distinctiveness. The world wants you to be typical. In 1,000 ways, it pulls at you. Don't let it happen. You have to pay the price for your distinctiveness and all it's worth it. The fairy tale version of be yourself is that all the pain stops as soon as you allow your distinctiveness to shine. That version is misleading. Being yourself is worth it, but don't expect it to be easy or free. You have to put energy into it continuously. The world will always try to make Amazon more typical, to bring us into equilibrium with our environment. It will take continuous effort, but we can and must be better than that. That was the whole thing. I hope I read it, to your understanding. But basically what he's saying is that the world is going to try and make you normal. Everyone around you has these set standards, these set norms of what is acceptable in society, what we're comfortable with, what we know. And when something comes into it that's different, when something comes into it that is not with the norm, that is not accepted, that is not known, the world tries and squeezes it and pressures it into being normal. If you take anything from this video, make it this. If you are going to succeed in life, if you are going to thrive and be whatever your definition of successful is, it is going to be because you took that thing in you that is special, that unique characteristic, that unique trait about yourself, that unique part of you that everyone else tries to suppress, that when you let out, it may create difficulties for you or may not be fully understood by other people. It is because you took that part of you and you took it to its highest potential. You used it in your efforts, in your creative endeavors, in everything you do. You do not hide it. You never tried to hide it. That is what is going to make you successful, is by taking that part of you and actually embracing it instead of hiding it. That is what is going to make you successful. As soon as you stop fighting, as soon as you just go into, just suppressing yourself and being accepted by everyone and doing what everyone else wants and, living the normal life, that in a way is a death. Like Jeff Bezos says, when an animal dies, it enters equilibrium with its environment. When you stop embracing that part of you that is special, you enter equilibrium with the world and metaphorically die in a way. Because that part of you that is unique, that's the piece of you that was placed into you by God, specifically for you. You have to embrace it because that was what was put in you so that you could be successful. All the people of the world, the most successful man on the planet, they all started out with something that was not normal, that nobody accepted, that nobody recognized, that nobody understood. And they used that special part of them, that unique trait, or whatever it was about them, and they took it to its fullest potential. And that is what you have to do. And that's why this message from Jeff Bezos is so important. No matter all the other controversies about him, I don't really pay attention to Jeff Bezos' life, but I know he has some controversies and some hate. But that statement, at least just that, what he said, was really, really important. And it's probably one of the reasons why his company is so successful. Do not enter equilibrium with the world. Embrace your uniqueness. Embrace what makes you special. And use it to become whatever your definition of successful is.